Beep, beep. What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and today we're going to start a highly requested video series that you guys have been asking for, and that is going to be the start to finish for Modern Big Room. And what I mean by Modern Big Room, guys, you guys might call it something different. I'm talking about Seth Hills, Julian Jordan, swag, blinders kind of stuff where, you know, you have a bouncy bass line or a nasty bass with some really nice percussive or strong leads on top and some very, very bass housey, Reese-driven style breakdowns. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to this genre, guys, but I have been producing for quite some time, so I'm going to try my best to get something to you guys that you will learn from. But again, I know you will learn something if you're a beginner to intermediate, may it come to the processing of stuff, to the arrangement, etc. So again, I hope you find this stuff useful, guys. Now, the first step I always do before starting a track, guys, is always plan it out. And for this, I always like to utilize a reference track. A reference track is going to tell me a lot of things on how long the song should be, how long the intro should be, where do the breakdowns happen, etc. Now, if you're a newcomer to the genre, I always recommend going down this route until you kind of understand the arrangement layout, and then from there you can play with it, maybe not having a long breakdown or maybe putting the breakdown here in strategic points where you feel like it benefits your track more than the genre itself. You can definitely get creative with the arrangement, but again, in this tutorial series, we're going to take it very theoretic and just follow what the crowd is doing and saying so that you guys can learn from it. I always feel like if you can make something that sounds good, sounding like someone, you can make something that sounds good, that sounds like yourself. At the end of the day, it's all about messing around with the sounds and trying not to pick sounds that have been heavily overused. But with that being said, guys, let's get straight into this tutorial. And as always, if you want to support my channel, you can head over to evilsounds.com. The pack I'm using for the series is the Destination pack, which just came out last Friday, and that's the best way to support this channel, guys, and support the producer school as well, as it was a collaboration. And again, thank you guys for those of you guys that have supported it. It means a lot that you guys want me to stay here on YouTube and keep making these videos for you. Anyways, you guys take care, and let's get straight into this video.
Fucking bass drop.
Alright guys, so the first step, and this is something I've started to do a lot, is I've started to plan out the song. And usually I utilize like a reference for this. I do recommend you have multiple ones, but to keep my life simple, I'm just going to go with one. And you can see here we have essentially introduction, which lasts for about 4 bars, and we have an open hat come in. Then the intro is amped up. That means this part here, the kick is sort of like you don't have the strong full out kick yet. You always want to start as minimal as possible so that you can build bigger every single time. From there, we can see we have a pre-break, which is sort of like a place where there's tension building up, and then the main break idea. So all of this is meant to set us up. It's like a bridge to get to our main break idea. And then we have our build up, our drop verse 1.5. Something needs to change. Something needs to happen. Another pre-break tension. Main break idea again, which is gonna looks like it lasts about 8 bars. From there, 8 plus 3 is 11, 63 to 71. Then we got a build up, which is gonna last for about I want to say another 8 bars. Then we have a drop, which is lasting 16 bars, and in the middle we do have that 2.5 amp up there, which just means something needs to happen every single time. Something needs to change. I like doing this because it allows you to know, okay, I need to do something here, and how to approach it. So from here, guys, I am actually going to start on the build up and work my way to the drop. And for the build up, again, I'm just going to set that up so that I get inspired, so I can feel the vibes for it. So we're going to go with maybe something like so. Okay, so we got that little drum fill. Anytime there's a switch, I always like to use an impact. That's a little epic. I think the first one is good. It's cinematic, but it's not too cinematic where it sounds like Hans Zimmer just walked into the room and all those nerds are getting into it. Okay, so we're gonna unwarp that and just try to like get it on beat. There we go. Maybe like. Let's start being organized right from the get-go. Impact, and we're gonna call this obviously our snare build 1. We might introduce another snare build as the track goes. Yeah, I'm gonna have like a downlifter as well. I just like to call these Command G. We're going to get them into a group and just call it the effects section here. The reason I like to group stuff up, guys, is because it allows us to compress the effects together. It allows us to do stuff together, and it also keeps it organized. And for the effects, we're going to go with pink color on that. Okay, let's see if we can get some, let's see, a reverse synth as well in there. I'm going to choose to go with the track in the key of D sharp. That's my favorite key. So we are going to get a reverse synth in there as well. So a lot of here is just using a lot of effects to make sure that these transitions have that impact that we want. Dope. Let's see if we can add our uplifter. We'll keep it simple for now. If the theme of the track lets us use those uplifters at the end there, which are a little bit more cinematic, we're gonna go for them. We're gonna try and go balls deep. Okay, I think we can use some of these grooves as well. I think that one's really cool to use there, so we're gonna go. Now, something cool about Ableton is I can go here on the trans and then set it to 1 so that it acts as a... I don't want the full out loop, but I just want to get like more of a little hits on it, so we're gonna have that there. Command J that together so we can actually pitch that up a bit just to have a bit of change happening in the transposition. So that's going to allow us to do this. Okay, let's see if we can take it like to 12. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this part here. What da 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 doom, and then we got the drop. Okay, so we're just working on that build. I always like working on the build first because it just allows us to have energy. Like you just feel that fucking energy, and you're like, how can you not make a drop to it? And the problem is a lot of people will start here and they'll make a drop. They're like, it doesn't really hit. But again, this is like a hype man right here. If you don't have this, the drop's not going to sound like it hits. You need to have this so you feel the momentum that we're creating. It's sort of like pulling back on the slingshot and releasing. When you have the drop, you're just putting the rock and letting it drop. All right, so that's just my personal think of it, guys. That's how I like to work. So this is going to be build number 2. We're going to get this guy up here, and then we're just going to get it into the build-up group. Build up needs to be badass color. I think I'll give it a little bit of a brown like so. Okay, let's see what else we can add. Let's have fun. Okay, so what's with that out of the way? Let's see. We are going to use a vocal shot, but I'm trying to see if we can build in some ambience or something. A bit of white noise would work. Yeah, a little bit of that, you know, the crowd effect. I remember when Ollie James first made a video that he used that, and I started using it, and now everyone seems to be using a crowd effect. So we're going to add that. Okay. Let's see. We can amp up that uplifter a little bit more. So. Okay, now I do want an impact to happen here to allow for that change that happens there. So we can go with this one again, but let's see if we can. Or maybe like a reverse would work as well. We'll use the uplifter short. There we go. Those are dope. We're going to use that. The producer school made that one, by the way. They added like a gate to it. It sounds fucking dope. So we're just... actually going to use it before the... Dope. We might have to shorten this more so it's just here because it might be a bit too long for me, but we'll see. All right, let's see if we can get like a vocal in there.
Back once again.
Okay, I'm going to lower this down a bit. I hate hearing myself.
Drop that beat.
Back once again.
Let's see if we can do that. Oh, that's a long...
Back once again for that motherfucking bass drop.
All right, and let's see, Complex Pro. That is me, by the way. I know I sound like a girl.
Once again for that motherfucking bass drop. Once again for that motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, cool.
Once again for that motherfucking.
Let's see how we will work this into it. So
Once again, once again, once again.
I thought that sounded pretty cool by mistake.
Once again, once again, once again, once again, once again, once again, once again for that motherfucking.
Bass drop right on the drop, like bass drop.
Motherfucking bass drop.
So that would actually have to come in here.
Once again, once again for that motherfucking bass. Once again, motherfucking bass drop. Once again,
I'm still trying to figure out if that's gonna work.
once again, bass drop. Once again for that mother. Once again for that mother.
I like the idea of that, but it just doesn't seem like it's gonna work.
Once again, once again, once again, once again, once again for that once again for that once again for that motherfucking bass drop.
There we go. Solved the puzzle like that. I mean, we'll see if that works, because honestly, I kind of want to just do. But also, since it's an 8-bar loop like that, or sorry, 2-bar, I don't know if that's going to last.
Once again for that motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, cool. And let's see, will an impact work there as well? I'm like, I'm getting my money's worth with this impact here.
Motherfucking bass drop. Motherfucking bass.
Have some sort of automation going on in the master as well on that build, by the way, so this impact probably won't work, or we might switch it out for a crash, but for now I'm just going to add it for suspense. Okay, from there, let's see what else we can add to that. Maybe like a little crash would work. So we got to go into the drums. What's that thing?
For that motherfucking bass drop. For that motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, and then let's get like a drum fill here. Let's try that.
For that motherfucking bass drop.
I think that would work too.
For that motherfucking bass drop.
Maybe like short.
For that motherfucking bass drop. For that motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, cool. And then I do want sort of like a reverse going into that. Maybe the crash should be reversed instead, like so.
For that motherfucking bass drop.
Or even like so. Just playing around.
Motherfucking bass drop. Motherfucking bass drop. Motherfucking bass drop. Motherfucking.
Maybe like bring it in with a fade.
Motherfucking bass drop. Motherfucking bass drop. Motherfucking bass drop. Motherfucking bass drop.
That might work. But
Bass drop. Fucking bass drop. Motherfucking bass drop.
okay, cool. Maybe we can use that like again, just maybe scene. Oh shit, my ear.
Motherfucking bass drop.
Nah, that's too yeah. Okay, so we're gonna leave it like that for that split moment there, and I do want to reverse synth as well. We can use the one we already used over here, so we're just gonna put this bad boy into there just to get it going. So And then we're just going to shorten it, actually. So that's the good thing about Ableton I really like. It's really fast to do this. Just a fade being added there like so will make the biggest of difference.
Motherfucking bass drop.
There we go. Doom, 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 doom. Okay, so we're going to...
Back once again, back once again. Back once again, back once again. Back once again, for that back once again. For that back once again. For that motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, cool. And we might work a little bit more on that later, but from there we can go into the drop. So let's just close these bad boys up. And I just like to delete the channels we're not using. I called that Ollie James crowd effects, baby. Okay, and let's just rename these vocal, crash, and fill little. And I'm just gonna, obviously it goes in the build. My crash goes into the effects. And there we go. The Ollie James Atmo is effects. And then the short gate up is effects. So you can see that majority of our work right now has been there. And it's a lot of samples. That's why it's good to have good sample packs. It doesn't mean you got to use Destination for all your effects needs, obviously. But again, they are there, guys. And I recommend you mismatch if you have ideas and you go through there. So with that being said, let's work on the drop. You know, when you're picking out a kick, do pick one that's kind of good out of the get-go that would fit what you're wanting to go for. So in our case, it's going to be a little dirtier. But don't be afraid to always switch it out, because sometimes you might find a better kick that just gets along with your bass way better. And again, since I want to be in D sharp, I want to go. One of these might work. Kind of like this dump on this really well, but we'll see if it doesn't get fucked when we pitch it up by 2. Let's move it a little better. The thump goes away a bit, but it's fine. Okay, cool. So we know we're gonna have our kick, so we're just gonna do this. Obviously, simple. Everyone knows how to do that. We know we have a pre here, so we're just gonna get rid of that there. So we won't consolidate it yet, but we'll know that we have to do that, and we're just gonna set it up for ourselves. We know here we're gonna have this sort of fill that's gonna happen again, so we're gonna grab the little bad boy here, put it there. Okay, we are going to use part of the vocal there. Probably this part.
Motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, I do want to have a crash there, so we are going to add it.
Motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, cool. And obviously that impact will work well there. That's so loud.
Motherfucking bass drop.
Okay, and let's just get the drum fill in there as well.
Bass drop.
And then I'm going to use part of this guy, the snare fill.
Bass drop.
And of course, my little groove. I'm going to have this fill like so.
Bass drop.
All right. From there, we have that. Again, you can see it's very theoretical right now, but it's all good. We're going to add a clap now. Obviously, that's simple. This one would be a really good layer. I like that. It just has so much punch. It's a clap and snare layer together. That's why. But we're going to go with that number 9.
Bass drop. Bass drop.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to try and layer another clap to add a bit of change to it as well. Something I hear a lot being done a lot more often. We might have to go with another pack to get something that sounds different. Maybe something with like more sustain to it. And what I mean by that is it lasts longer. There we go. That's nasty. This one's dope. We want something aggressive. That's the theme of the track, so we try to keep it. Something to move faster there. We're gonna control it. Okay, cool. So where we have our basses. Okay, so now it's time to find our main lead for it. So I'm gonna go maybe on Serum and just explore some of the sounds that we have access to. Okay, so let's see, destination. I know I want something that you guys will like. I don't want to go too crazy, like different, make my life easier too when it comes to this, but we're gonna see what we can do. I really like the sound a lot, but it's just not strong enough. So what I'm gonna do is try for a Hail Mary with a Camel Crusher. Okay, and let me save this because it's known to crash. We're gonna call this, just to keep a little bit of a profile. Always hit collect all and save, by the way, so you save all your samples just in case you lose them. Your project files don't go to shit because of it. Oh Lord. I think the reverb being like that is fine, but the delay needs to go. Or if we do it, maybe we can shorten that up a bit, but like very fast. Lord. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to jam out a little bit to see if I can get anything that's going to sound good here on my MIDI keyboard, just for fun. I'll put like the MIDI thing up so you can see what notes I'm hitting. But with a lot of this stuff, honestly, while there's not a lot of melody movement, the right notes are usually going to be like, obviously, let's say I'm in D sharp. A lot of people like to go up a semitone. The B flat. Which, you know, SYNTHS does it a lot with some of his sounds. They have the +7 built into it already. So that helps create a different vibe. So you have like essentially a layer of the bottom note and then this note playing together. And it creates a sort of vibe to it. I don't like the reverb delay on it, man. It just kills the vibe. But I love the way that sounds like in the low end. It would be a really cool sound to make a variation of that. Essentially, will sound really fucking good in a breakdown. However, we're gonna get rid of the delay on it and just play around. When I hit the bottom note on my MIDI keyboard, by the way, like this, what I'm using that is sort of like there's going to be like a brass stab or something here. That's not the idea that we're doing, but it just helps in creating the momentum for myself, especially for the fact that I like to play on the MIDI keyboard. Okay, so I think that's a cool idea to kind of work around. And the second part, we added a bit of variation to the melody, so that's what we want. You know, when we add variation, I made a video about this if you want to check it out, but in my head, variation to a melody will come always from rhythm and the notes you pick. So you can always mess with rhythm, and you can always mess with that to switch variation. The key thing is obviously maintaining the theme in your melody and not making it sound completely like another one, but still having some of the characteristics. Okay, so that second part was just fucking massive amounts of energy. All right, so let's good. But what I'm going to do is actually this one lands in time. Now, the reason I say this is I do have a mentor that told me that if you want to add swing to your melody, it's all good, but you got to make sure that first note lands on the beat. From there, you can add swing as much as you want to the rest, but that first hit of the melody needs to be in time. I don't know if that applies or if it's just more of a way that he likes to work, but again, it's something that I learned that has stuck with me whenever I do these kind of things. This guy we're gonna shift just a little to the right, like so, just for. And then again, we repeat that, so that's a. Okay, that's good. Landing there. Doing. Okay, that's good. We're gonna do that. So that's our first part there. Duplicate that. Okay, so that's going to be color that blue. That's a variation there. All right, so we might mess around with this melody a little bit more later because I don't like how it just repeats constantly. It's like a 2-bar one. But I'm just, again, setting that up for myself there. Let's see. There we go. That little change in note there will make the biggest difference. I don't know if I like this high up. I like that switch in rhythm there. That's fucking catchy. This sounds a little too robotic here, so we might work with that. The thing that makes me feel like it sounds robotic, though, is just do, do, do. You hear that? Do, 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 do. That's like fucking swingy mother. Like, it just makes you want to dance. That's what I mean. So this one lands on. Wait, it kills. I don't know. That's a card. Maybe. That sounds good. It's sort of like a surprise because you're expecting it to hit here, but it should wake them up. Okay, I don't like that part at all. So we're just gonna get rid of that. Put this there. Keeping the theme. Maybe even going down. Oh, that's not. Okay, I don't don't know how I feel about that at all. Okay, I don't like that part there. I think I went a bit too crazy. I think we can safely say this is the theme. Okay. Again, I don't like that, so moving it down.
Stop.
Got a little last part. I like this. I don't know why in my head I hear that. That kind of switches it up a bit better. I don't know about that. I don't like this part because everything has like swing with it, and all of a sudden it just turns a little robotic.
For that back once again, for that motherfucking bass drop.
What we're gonna have variation 1, variation 2, and obviously we have that little outro to the melody, altaro, open hats. That's good. We got the vocal. We are gonna use parts of the vocal on the drop, so probably should add that right now.
Once again, fucking bass drop.
Okay, I might add more vocals here, like Anna, or like, you know, like back, once again, like little vocal chops would work there. But for now, this is what we're gonna have for the first day, guys. So we have essentially an idea of where the drop is going. We're gonna have our build, and again, this is needed because now from there I can start to shape this. Bass and the stabs are missing, and of course a lot of other additive elements that will come into play once we have the bass and the stabs. We can start to decide what else we can add to that drop to just spice it up a bit and make it more interesting to hear. Essentially, we're just missing a lot of additive ear candy kind of interest, so that when the listener hears it, they're just bombarded and just fucking like want to dance to it. But I really like this. It has such a dark vibe. Like I can imagine myself in a Nissan Skyline or something, hauling ass through the 105, 405, 10, 5 freeway. That's what's up.
Let's go.